Hello, my name is Zana and I am head of Recebo Creative Business Incubator. Today I will tell you more about presentation skills, how to prepare nice looking presentations, how to work with different tools to make your work easier on this topic, and we'll share some tips and tricks on also other different presentation ways. I will start with presentation skills, but before to start to talk about, I have to mention about comfort zone. We all have heard the saying that we have to step out of comfort zone, and I understand that for most of us it's usual thing to prepare for presentations, to prepare for our lectures. We already have prepared for students many materials, and I don't have to tell how to prepare for it, that you don't have to be nervous, or how to choose your audience and how to prepare for them. But the main thing which I want to tell you here, and why we have to step out of comfort zone, that we have to go to the next step, and it's visualize your presentations. I know that at the beginning, and it's always when we start some new things, it's safer to stay where we are already. I know that all our presentations are good right now. We have the best information put on the slides. But when we decide to step to the next step, to the fear zone, we go to the learning zone, we learn and we gain new things, new skills, and we have new challenges with which we step out. And I hope that today, and not only today, but during our all modules, we will all go through these steps to the growth zone. When we will set new goals, we will have new purposes, and we will create nice looking presentations. So the course content or the model content is first of all, we will start with some basic information about the presentation. Then I will introduce you I will give you some information about pitch presentations, which you know is really used and popular thing for business pitching, for investment sessions, and students very often have to prepare for such a presentation type. Then we also will talk about poster presentation, digital tools, and I will show you some tips and tricks how to use with these digital tools. So about the basic principles of creating a presentation, first of all, we have to know what is our audience. Afterwards, who are we and what we want that audience sees in us. Then we will also talk about the message. And afterwards, I will introduce you the group work or work that you will prepare during this course. First thing which I have to mention, that presentation skills is very important in these days. It's one of the most important communication skills, not only in business but also in other important sectors in our lives. Before important presentations, I guess we all know the key to success is preparation. Preparation, and again preparation. So what is important in presentation? In every presentation, the first impression is what we want to be really good. So prepare your presentation and prepare your speech so that everyone notices that you are there. Be confident. Do not be afraid of what you have to say. And then when you start to create presentation, or when you start to talk on your topics, remember about three-thing rule, that the audience usually can remember only three main things what you are talking during your presentation. Also here in your speeches, which are those three most important things what you want that your audience remember at the end of your session. What else is important? I think in these days we should really think about data visualization, and that we use less text and more visualizations in our presentations. and our materials, what we offer to our students, to our audience, to people who listen to us. And the last thing what we cannot forget about is the call to action. During our lectures, it can be assignment, what we assign for our students. But when we talk about speeches, about storytelling, and some conferences, call to action can be some tips and tricks which you leave for your audience to think about later. It can be some useful tools. And actually today for you, I have also prepared some useful tools which you can use later preparing for your lectures. Then, step by step, we will also talk about your audience, about yourself as a speaker, and what is your presentation about. First, about audience. I understand that most of us work with students, but sometimes we also work with clients, with project partners. So we have to understand the audience which we are presenting something. And the first, some questions what we can answer before preparing is what they already know. And as I told you at the beginning, I know that you all have presented your topics during the lectures. You all have created tons of presentations. So that's why I'm not teaching you how to work with the PowerPoint on the basic level. I will teach you, or I will tell you how to use PowerPoint to make your presentations more nicer. Then how much they already know about the subject, what you are going to talk about, what they want to know from you, and what they expect to see. You can see you can tell that what they see on the agenda. If you have promised them that you will talk about presentation or you will talk about another topics, then of course they expect to see the things or the information what you have promised them. About the speaker or about us, you, me, people who stand in front of the audience. It's important to think what you as a speaker want that your audience remember about you. How nice you look, how confident you were on the stage, or maybe how nice were prepared your slides, or maybe how interesting was the information what you offered to them. The best way is that you combine all those four things in one set. But of course you can mix, and the most important is that your audience at the end is really happy about the lecture or the information that they have received. How you will show your credibility, how you will show that you are an expert in such a field. And here I ask you to think about your, not CV, but your introduction slide, which you prepare or show to your students at the beginning of lectures or at the beginning of speech. Like, for example, my name is Zane. I'm head of Creative Business Incubator, which I already have told you. But here are also some other important things which I want you to know about me, that I'm also program director, I'm lecturer, and I'm, for 5 years already, PhD students. The topics which I covered during my lectures are, first of all, I talk about model presentation and digital tools which you can use for your presentations and how to prepare for presentations. Then another topics which are close to me is business communication and business models. So this slide is quite empty, but as you can see, there are all the information which is important for me right now. Of course, I can put some logos or some other bullet points from my CV, but I don't think that all of that information is important right now. The most important is that I do teach modern presentation, and this is what you have to know about me right now. Another thing, or fourth thing, what you have to think when you think about yourself as a speaker, what do you have in common with your audience to create a bond? With your students, it can be, I don't know, maybe interesting books you share, some topics, or maybe movies you have watched before. With your colleagues or project partners, maybe some interesting projects what you do in your universities. So find out what is your audience. I know that not always it's possible to find this information, but do your homework, and before every presentation, at least a little bit try to learn about the person who will listen to your presentation. And one of the most important thing, of course, is message. The message, what you will tell your audience, the speech, what you will give to them. Every time when I have to start to think about my presentations, it's like building cars, Lego cars. At the beginning, I have a lot of different colored pieces, what I have in my box, not mine, my kids' boxes. But then to somehow organize the information and somehow prepare for this Lego building or my presentation building, I have to organize all the pieces, I don't know, with the different colors or different pieces, so it's easier at the end to work with the material or the information what I already have, and only then I start to build my presentation, or I help to my kids to build their Lego cars. And I invite also you to think about all the knowledge, all the information, what you already have. Think about it, put it all together, and only then start to structure the presentation. As you know, in lectures, we have lectures for 1, 2, and 3 hours, but in conferences, we in such a short time have to give so much information. And be prepared that this information is qualitative as it can be. What is the purpose of your presentation? Here are just a few things what I want to mention or ask you. Is your presentation is about to inform, persuade, entertain, or inspire your students? I would ask you to choose or make combination not more than of 2 of these things, because I think my important job in topics or in lectures, study courses, what I'm preparing is entertain and inspire. I'm giving them some information, but the most important thing is to inspire to do things different, and do things different in easy way. And I hope that at the end of these presentations, you will also find the easiest way how you can use these tools and this information for your presentations. Where to start? First of all, I think it's important to mention that it's the right time when you have to change. I know that all of us have given thousands of speeches and have prepared thousands of presentations with really useful information, but now we have to change it. What we can do and where we can start, first of all, we should do the audit or check what communication tools we already use. Do we use PowerPoint? Or maybe we already know and use a Canva tool. Maybe you have another interesting tool what you can use for preparing your presentations or visual information. And also other tools like Mentimeter, Kahoot, which can help you to interact with your audience. When we prepare for important speeches, conferences, it's important also to prepare for different scenarios, like what you will do if your presentation will not work, or what you will do if a microphone doesn't work. And I know that preparing for such a presentation is really stressful, but it's good to think about such scenarios before we have these presentations. Then regulations. What I mean with regulations. When you have to prepare for pitch presentation for investors, for example, they have really strict regulations what you have go through to actually participate in such a contest or such an investment presentation pitch. So you have to read really carefully what they want to see from you during this presentation. And as you probably know, pitch presentation is usually from 1 till 5 minutes. And if you haven't read these regulations or instructions, at the end, you would be really upset or in not nice situation that someone will stop your presentation at the middle because you have prepared for 10 or 15 minutes. What else? Keep it simple, less text, as I mentioned before, more visualizations. What else? Keep it simple, less text, more visualizations, maybe some pictures, but do not use a lot of information and text to your presentation. Probably you all have noticed that right now, working on an online basis, everything takes more time. Also presentations and also presenting takes more time than it usually was when we were working on class. So be aware of it. Inform students that you all, for your presentations, there will be 10, 15 or maybe more or less minutes. Another thing is about audience involvement and how you involve them. Do you have discussions? Do you have role plays, or maybe you have some small tasks on breakout rooms or maybe something different? This is what keeps them awake during your lectures, and it's also important for them to communicate in these small rooms, in small groups, so they feel more close, because right now we're all working on online. Be in time, and I think it's not only for business presentations and pitching, but also for lectures. If we promise that we will finish in time, then of course we have to finish in this time. Thing which is really interesting for our presentations is storytelling. This is the communication way or presenting way what we all can learn and all can use in all type of presentations, not only during lectures, but also during the conferences, during the pitch presentations, when we try to sell our product. So put small, interesting stories about why you have created this business idea. Maybe you had some problems before, or maybe something happened, and that's why you decided to go to this way and create this business. And again, use the visualizations, and visual communication is also new communication way, communication style to communicate with your audience, not only with the information what you are giving verbally, but also with the information what you put on the slides, with the symbols, pictures, and other things which makes your story more colorful. First of all, it makes or gives the structure for your presentation. It also gives this attention to your slides and to the screen what you are showing. Sometimes it also makes things more understandable. It promotes creativity in others, and I'm sure that it will make your presentation unique. And using visual tools and visual elements in your presentation, plus adding some stories, you can be visual storyteller. And at the end, your lectures, your presentations will be different and more interesting. About the visual communication, you can choose the ways, the fonts, the symbols or visual elements which is more suitable for you. There is no the right way how to work or how to prepare your presentations. There are different tools, different templates you can use. It's the most important that you find this one template or the one tool which fits for you, and you will see how your presentations will change step by step. To become a visual storyteller, you don't have to create your presentations from the scratch. There are already plenty of presentation templates and digital tools which you can use for your presentations. And in next videos, I will show you some ways how to work and how to prepare your presentations.